So now let's move on to the third essential node, which is the aggregate node. So what does aggregate node do? So this node helps you merge multiple entries or multiple items into a single data entry or a single item. It is very useful in summarizing, grouping and collecting values. An example could be that you would like to aggregate all the email IDs that are there in all our orders before starting to send the emails, so that you do not send the duplicate emails to a particular customer. A customer may have ordered like multiple orders and you might want to have only one single email sent to them. Or as soon as we send these Slack notifications to our operations team, there were so many Slack messages that got sent to our operations team which were subscribed to that particular channel. And similarly, when we send the emails of pending orders to our customer service team in the last lesson, there were so many emails that got sent to them. Instead, it would have been wonderful that they would have got a summary of all such pending orders in a single email. And similarly, the operation teams or finance team would have got a summary of all the orders pending, refunded, cancelled in a single message instead of receiving so many messages. So let's get back to our workflow and see how we can use this aggregate node in order to reduce that unread count. So this is the use case that we have also documented over here in the aggregate node. The aggregate node helps us combine multiple items into one. It will help us send one Slack message or one email instead of multiple emails. So let's see how we will do that. So till last lesson, we were able to get this data, which is more like a merged data set of order and order details. Along with that, what we did was we removed the first name and last name, the two fields, merged them together into something called full underscore name. So you can see we have full name over here, and we have set a order priority as well, which is high or low, so that the emails that get sent out based on it, they are getting sent out based on high priority orders, not just by the status of it. We are going to fix that as well in our workflow. So what I'm going to do for temporarily is I'm going to basically delete these connections so that unnecessarily the emails are not sent out. So I'm going to delete all of them, and we are going to keep the switch case on. I'm going to connect this over here. So now it would start having the 291 records accessible to this switch node. So I'll just open it up. This one is fine, right? So for this particular use case, we wanted to send as soon as the order is pending. We want our customer service team to get in touch with the customer to see if something is pending at their end, so that they can further process the orders into processing state. The next use case was we wanted to check if the order status was processing, then the operations team should be notified. So this is where we have changed, and now you can see that we want to send only the orders to the operations team that are higher in priority. So I'm going to drag this over here. Let me just remove this. So now we have order priority. This is high, and instead of processing, I'll say high over here. So this is what we want, right? You might be thinking that now I'm only just checking order priority and I'm not checking the status anymore. I should check the order status as well in this scenario, because you do not want your operations teams to get notified for delivered orders as well, right? So I think that's a homework that I would like to give you in this particular lesson, so that you can have both the conditions in place. Think about it, how you would be using set field nodes or aggregate node or switch condition. Where would you like to put the second condition in, where you are checking both the order priority as well as the order status, because you do not want to notify your operations team in case the order is delivered, shipped or cancelled or refunded. You only want the high priority order that is either in pending state or in processing state. But let's continue with this logic, which is faulty. At the bottom, we have these cancelled orders and refunded orders. Now if I test step, pending orders 41, we have processing orders at 151, we have cancelled as 11, and we have refunded as 25. So now the number of orders are increased because these are corresponding to each product that has been ordered inside an order, right? So that's why you are seeing multiple entries of a single order over here. Now if we look at the processing orders, you would start seeing that, okay, these are all high priority orders because the dates over here are more than 45 days long. However, the status, for example, this one is shipped, so ideally we do not want this order to come over here, right? So you need to put that logic somewhere in so that these 153 can be reduced. But for now, let's go back and see what we have on our canvas. So we have these 4 branches that are coming out, and we want to send pending items as email to our customer service team. So if I open up this email, so this is like notify, I'll rename it to notify service team or email service team. Notify can be Slack message as well. So email, then send, this all stays same. So now you can see that its order ID is in pending state. So for each of the item that is coming, 41 items, 41 emails would get sent out. We don't want that to happen. So what we would do is we'll go back. I'll disconnect this connection over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for aggregate. So as soon as I click on it, it is asking me the configuration of this aggregate node. Now you can see that what do we want to aggregate? Do we want to aggregate on individual fields, or we want to aggregate everything that is on the left hand side into a single item on the right hand side? So let's look at the individual fields first, and then we'll look into all items data into a single item later on. So let's select what fields we would like to aggregate. So what we were doing earlier, we were telling the customer service that, hey, this order ID is in pending state, go and talk to the customer. So what we are going to do now is we are going to merge all the order IDs which are in pending state and send it to the customer service team as one single email. So what I'll do is I'll add this order ID over here, and we don't want to rename the field for now. All these order IDs you can see are accessible. However, what I'll do is I'll click on order IDs and it's order ID, and I'll click on this test step just to see everything is working. Now I'll rename this field and I'll say, and then I'll test this. And now you can see that pending order IDs is one single list. So if I just collapse it, so you can see that we have first list, which is list of items, but inside this list of items, we only have a single item. And as we know from the lesson how data works in n8n, every input to a node must be a list of items. It could be a single item in that list, but the data structure format for the input must always be a list. So over here we have outer list, which is going to be fed into any kind of node in n8n, but inside it we only have pending order ID as one single item. But if you look at over here, if I click on this, let's see this. So you can see there are 41 items. It's not a single item over here because the curly braces start, then a comma, then a second item starts. Over here, the curly bracket starts. There is only one item. Inside it, there is a list of orders. That's fine. However, we have combined all the items that were coming into a single item. Now what we'll do is we'll attach this node into the email sending node. So let's go back and let's attach this node. Let me zoom out a bit and select all of them and make space. Alright, so I'll drag this over here and I'll connect this one over here. And now you can see that 41 items were input into the aggregate node, but only one item has been outputted from it. So that is what we wanted instead of sending 41 emails, because if I connect this to directly this, it is going to iterate over 41 items because each node executes on every single item that is being input into it. So that's why instead of now 41 emails, we are going to only send one email. And how we are going to configure it is we'll leave everything else as same, but over here what we are going to say, instead of this message, it could be like pending orders from today. And what you can also do is you can basically add the date as well. We can say, we'll use the expression over here, and I have the access to the now, so I'll use now. So you can see now pending orders from today. This is the date and time that will get attached to the subject over here. In the body of it, what we are going to do is I'm going to just click on this to make it bigger. So right now the body says connect with the customer to get the pending details. Now we don't have the order ID, so here we'll attach the order ID. So connect with the customer to get the pending details for the following orders. Alright, we'll go back, and what I'm going to do is instead of this fixed, I'll move it to expression and I'll expand it, and now we have expression. So we can just drag this over here. So now you can see that all the pending order IDs are being inputted as a single message over here. So I'm going to like just click on this, and what we are going to do is we are going to test it, and I'll just see what email I have mentioned. Yes, so no reply from discoveredwithDheeresh.com, and in the email I have GenAI unplugged@gmail.com. So if I click on this, the email should get sent. So now you can see that instead of sending 41 emails, we have just sent one email out of it. So this is the power of Aggregate Node, so that you can group items, collect them, summarize them into a single item for further processing into your workflow. I hope now you have a clear understanding of how Aggregate Node works in n8n. Now let's jump on to our fourth essential node, which is remove duplicate nodes. And you can already see that over here in the pending order IDs, I have so many duplicates over here, and the customer service team which has received this email. So if I just refresh my email box, you can see that email has arrived, pending orders from today, and the whole date time stamp is over here. You can trim this timestamp as well and keep the date format only by using little JavaScript. That I'll show you in some other lesson, but let's click on this and you would see that ORD001, ORD001 and ORD001. So we still are left with some sort of improvement in transforming, enriching, cleaning our data that we would do with the help of remove duplicates node in the next lesson.